As Ryan Music makes his Fox Sports 1 promo debut. Congratulations to you. I hope the entire Music family, as well as the in-laws or future in-laws that you live with, that's not creepy at all, recorded that one on their DVR.
Appreciate you letting everyone behind the curtain there, Doug.
You can listen to the Doug Gottlieb Show every day, noon to 3 Pacific Coast time, 3 to 6 Eastern time. FoxSportsRadio.com is a great way to find your affiliates. If it's not on the current affiliate or the iHeartRadio app, you can download the All Ball, which is an all basketball podcast. I also do for the Heard Now Podcast Network. Peter King joins us as he joins Colin every week from NBC Sports. And Peter, happy holidays to you. Getting ready for a great Happy New Year. Waiting for Week 17 of the National Football League. I woke up today to a story of Jim Caldwell being interviewed, and I thought, well, Jim Caldwell is a respected guy. He coached Peyton Manning with the Colts. He coached with the Lions, and they weren't terrible when he was there. That one makes sense. And Chuck Pagano, also interviewed by the Packers. That one's a little bit of a different level of respect to that interview. What's the likelihood that he's a legit candidate to get this job?
I don't really think either one of those guys is going to get the job, Doug. One of the reasons the Packers made the move when they made the move is so they could be upfront in the open and basically say, okay, look, we're conducting a coaching search starting right now. We're not hiring Joe Philbin. Joe Philbin's going to coach the last month of this season. And then we're going to have a new coach sometime in January. That's what they're doing right now. They can't interview Josh McDaniels now. They can't interview Lincoln Riley now. And look, I'm throwing those two names out there. I don't know if the Packers will have interest or will interview them. But I do know that one of the reasons that Mark Murphy, Brian Gutekunst in Green Bay said were making a coaching change when they did is they wanted to be first in line with a lot of these guys, and they're doing their fact-finding now, and that's all this is.
What's your take on the current state of the MVP? Pat Mahomes still has a game in which they need to win to get secure home field throughout. The Saints don't, so we're not going to see Drew Brees this weekend. Who would get your vote for the NFL's MVP?
Doug, I've thought about that a lot over the last few days. I've been away for a few days, and I've thought about it a lot. And I'm really, really kind of on the edge of the sword of Damocles on this between Brees and Mahomes. It's obviously going to be one of those two guys. And I respect the arguments from both camps. The fact that Mahomes is probably going to throw for 50 touchdowns at least. He's got 48 now. And the fact that Brees has been on the biggest winning team in the NFL this year, and he's had another very good year statistically with a lot of injuries in New Orleans. So I think either one of them would be a very good choice. The thing I hate about this time of year is when the argument for Drew Brees is, well, you can't vote for anybody other than Drew Brees. Or the argument for Mahomes is, oh, come on, it's ridiculous. It's open and shut. It's not open and shut. It's a good case for both guys. One of them is going to win unless, like in 2003, when it was Peyton Manning and Steve McNair, or I think it was 97 when it was Barry Sanders and Brett Favre tying. One of those two guys is going to win. The shame of the MVP voting, at least in my opinion, is that the Associated Press, which does the voting, basically mandates that you choose one. In baseball, you pick whatever it is, 5 or 10, and then they give you a point system. For number one is worth 10, whatever it is. And I wish that was done in football, because the closeness of the race between Mahomes and Brees probably is not going to be reflected in the final vote tally.
Okay, you still didn't give me an answer, though. If I ask you, you're going to have the Associated Press.
Because I don't know. I'll know it Sunday night or Monday morning. I'm not saying I don't know. I'm not saying I don't know when I know. I don't know. And I've got to spend a couple of hours this weekend, which I do every year on my award picks, Rookie of the Year, all that stuff. And I'm going to take it very seriously, and I'm going to pick one. And I'll let you know in my column Monday what it is.
In terms of true value, man, like, look, he's going to win comeback player of the year. But in terms of true value, and I know their defense is remarkably better. Their running game is much better. Their offensive line is much better. But what Andrew Luck has done with the Indianapolis Colts, if you actually want to use the word value, I'm not sure there's a greater argument that anyone could make in terms of someone's personal value to a franchise. Fair?
Well, yes, but what would have happened if John Doe had quarterbacked the Kansas City Chiefs this year or the New Orleans Saints? I understand what you're saying. He's been an incredibly good piece. And he's played a little bit differently this year, Doug, too. He's getting rid of the ball faster, which is important. But they've got Quentin Nelson there. He's been a very, very good first-round draft choice by the general manager, Chris Ballard. And their defense is markedly better. So Andrew Luck has been the biggest returning piece to that. And also, I'd make this point. And he probably is going to win comeback player of the year, but I'm not sure whether I'm voting for him or whether I'm voting for J.J. Watt. Just remember, J.J. Watt, the last 2 years, has had a debilitating neck/back injury in 2016. And last year, he had a compound broken leg, which was extremely dangerous. And coming back from both of those, it's one of those two guys. And if either one of them wins, that's fine with me. But I don't think that's an open and shut one. At least it isn't to me.
Peter King from NBC Sports joining us here in the Herd. I'm Doug Gottlieb filling in for Colin. Tom Brady hasn't played well the past 2 weeks. He says he wants to continue playing. Obviously, Bill Belichick's not giving us much anything, and there doesn't appear to be an heir apparent in the building.